Okay. So today is the 4th of July, hence the red, white, and blue. And in the waning twilight of July the 3rd, as the rocket's red glare alit the skies of Oklahoma, about 15 minutes too early, Godzilla dropped a building onto a Japanese aircraft that had tanked his atomic breath multiple times, including a shot where he fired his breath through a building. And all I could think of when I was watching those moments was, it's good to be back. It's really good to be back. Because a couple years ago, my buddy Clay and I had decided we're going to watch every Godzilla movie. We're going to start with Gogeta, and we're going to end with -1, because -1 was the most recent at the time. And we never got around to finishing our marathon. We had watched everything in the Showa era. Overall, we enjoyed it. All Monsters Attack is terrible, but overall, we enjoyed it a lot. And we've seen all of the, what's it called? The Monsterverse, I think, the Universal movies. I've seen all of them in theaters, and I've enjoyed all of them. And near the end of the year, because -1 was in theaters again, we saw it. And we saw the black and white version. Like, I loved it. I thought it was incredible. And we've been kind of talking about it for a while. It's like, so when are we going to get back into it? When are we going to get back into it? And last year, I think around this time, Shin Godzilla got re-released in theaters. We're like, all right, that's skipping ahead a bit, but let's go ahead and watch Shin Godzilla. Like, I'd already seen it, and I loved it, and I loved it again the second time. Like, I want to watch this in theaters. Maybe this will be the catalyst to get us back into it, and it was the only Godzilla movie we watched last year. But after finishing some other, group watch projects, we realized it's time to get back to Goji. And we have started, I believe this is the Heisei era, with the return of Godzilla. And if I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of mixed on it. I think the first third of the movie absolutely rules. Like, the opening scene with, there's the, sorry, let me try that again. My brain was going and my mouth wasn't quite following it. The opening scene on the ship, where you have all of these bodies and they're looking really decayed, and there's this shot of, this thing slowly crawling down. I'm like, what? I turned on a Godzilla movie. When did I start actually watching Alien? It is legit creepy. And when you actually see the thing, it's this giant sea louse that it's a giant vampire bug. This thing is cool, and as someone who just does not like bugs, I found this creepy as hell. I'm like, dude, we're off to a really good start. And, there's this, there's a reporter that's investigating the ship. He finds a survivor. The survivor tells he was like, yeah, there was a monster, blah, blah, blah. The government finds out about this, realizes, oh, shit, Goji's back. Because this is actually a sequel to the original film. So, Godzilla has happened. People know about him. But it's been about 30 years. And I could be wrong. I think this was 30 years after. Here, let me actually check. I am curious if that was... Because I think Return of Godzilla came out in 95. No, okay, the American version came out in 95. Original came out in 94. Or excuse me, 84. I don't know why I was saying 90. It was 85 and 95. Yeah, and original Gogeta was 1954. So it is actually 30 years after, which is why it's 30 years. That's what I figured. So... Sorry, I got distracted. Where was I? It's been 30 years. People know about Godzilla. This report gets out. Or excuse me, the report hasn't been made alive because the government puts on a gag order because, hey, we don't really want people to start panicking. Let's try to keep this as calm as we can. Because maybe he won't attack. I don't know. Maybe there's kind of a way we can get around this. So, the reporter ends up finding out about the gag order and he's not happy. He finds out that the survivor had a sister, but no one's told her. So he goes, talks to the sister to let her know that, no, your brother's still alive. And the government doesn't want, it's on a very need to know basis. You didn't need to know, but I think you did need to know. So she goes to find her brother in the hospital, and they talk, and they have this reunion, and the reporter goes, got my shot. Like, oh, what a scumbag. But maybe he wasn't entirely lying. I don't know. And, like, there's an interesting kind of setup and conflict here. And, you know, I mentioned Shin Godzilla a little bit ago. And that's kind of what this movie makes me think of. Because a lot of it is about the politics and about the prime minister having to deal with the problem of Godzilla and talking to and negotiating with other countries who are like, hey man, Godzilla's a problem, and if he starts being active, we want to be able to fire our weapons at him. Do we have your permission? And it's a scene and conversation I really like and I really hate. I really like it because I think it is an interesting moral, like, discussion happening of this monster is rampaging, and if we have the means to stop it, we kind of need to. It's excuse me. It's going to do a lot of damage. Like, it's not, the Tokyo's not going to be okay, but we can get rid of it. Are you going to let us? And the prime minister's response essentially being, if it was, because he's specifically speaking to the Americans and the Russians, is, if he were attacking Washington or Moscow, would you let me fire, like, my nukes at it? No. And I like, I do kind of like it. But here's what I hate about that scene so much. The strategy is, we want permission to fire nuclear weapons at Godzilla. Not 5-10 minutes before this, they're like, you know, Godzilla feeds on radiation, and you see him attacking a nuclear plant so he can slurp the radiation and nuclear energy out of it. So your plan to fight this monster that is like a representation of nuclear energy and power and devastation that feeds on it and gets stronger from it is to hit it with nukes. That's not gonna work. Like, if it had been phrases like, yeah, like, we're not gonna use nukes because it's not gonna work, but we're just gonna carpet bomb him with non-nuclear energy, but like a lot of fire and a lot of explosives, like, sure, you can have that moral quandary now, because it's still like, we're gonna damage the hell out of Tokyo, and we're gonna do what we can to kill this thing, but it's something that might make sense to kill Godzilla. Like, would I expect it to? No. But a nuke's not gonna work. You should know a nuke's not gonna work. It's Godzilla. That's like seeing the volcano titan from Hercules and saying, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shoot him with a flamethrower. The biggest flamethrower I have, and that's what's gonna kill him. It just, like, I like the moral quandary and the argument, but there's a logical argument here, and I'm like, why didn't anyone bring this up? And it just bothered me a little bit. Let's see. Like I said, I think the setup is really good, and like the human stuff is good early on, but then I just kind of didn't really vibe with it as much. It just, I don't know. I don't know why the human stuff got boring, but it just kind of did. I didn't find their tension that, I guess that's the thing. It's like, you feel like when he takes that picture and like he kind of shows his true colors, there's going to be some distrust and all that, and there almost kind of is, but not really. And I didn't think the chemistry was really there. And there's that kind of longish scene in the middle of Goji destroying stuff where they're trying to escape from a building in a helicopter, and I just didn't care. And I wanted to. I really wanted to. But there's a scene where Goji is walking around Shinjuku. And there's these helpless people on subway trains, or on a subway train. And they scream bug-eyed as he looks down on them. And then he picks up the train, and he throws it back down, and he wades through the buildings for the center of town. Oh no, there goes Tokyo. Go, Godzilla. I'm sorry, I had to get it in there, but I was like, wait a second. Was this did this movie specifically inspire that song? Because I don't know, some of this is like pretty similar to what just happens in that moment. Yeah, there is a scene, though, where, like, he picks up a train, and there's someone on the train who just kind of waves at him, and he's just kind of looking glaring, and then he starts laughing, starts walking, just mic drops the train. Oh gosh. There's a moment where he's getting attacked by helicopters when he's in the water, and like he gives this roar as like, there's all these explosions around him, and it's a really cool shot. There's a lot of shots where he looks goofy as hell, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love this goofy bastard. There's a bit where this homeless guy is yelling at Godzilla. He's like, "You think you're a big shot because you're walking around Shinjuku? You're just a damn hillbilly." And then later calls him like, "You dumb bastard." Like, I liked this dude. He was barely in the movie, but he was great. There's a scene when I think it's like there's a helicopter and Goji doesn't use the atomic breath. It's more of an atomic spit. We're just like, and then he snipes this thing and it lands on the ground and it causes this chain reaction of explosions. And I think that was the moment where I was like, man, it's good to be back. Like, that is some fun Godzilla shit. There's a scene kind of near the end of the climax where like they're surrounded by fire and like the sky turns orange, and it looked really good. It was a moment that it's like I really like the destruction in this movie. I think it's good. I think it's fun. For the most part, to me, it didn't quite hit the level from the first movie, because what I loved about Gojira is when he's on his rampage, I felt like this is really cool. Like, I'm seeing a giant monster destroy a big city. This is awesome. But it's also, like, it's terrifying and it's beautiful all at the same time. And this was cool. Not as terrifying, but it wasn't beautiful. Like, it's weird to call destruction beautiful. But, I don't know. It's, what's that term? Like, the sublime, I guess. Like, I don't know. There's times where I'm just like, that's cool, and then I'm like, this is like, I don't know, maybe I'm sounding really pretentious. My point is, that moment, like, with the fire, that's where it, like, kind of went up to another level for me. And I thought the destruction was really good. The ending with, because from what I understand, this is something that has been edited out of versions of the movie, where, like, as Godzilla is falling into the volcano, he gives this scream. And I think what they had said was something like, okay, like, we regret that, because Godzilla's not supposed to scream. He's not supposed to sound scared. I liked that a lot. It's weird to say that it humanized Godzilla, but it did. Just, you really feel that sense of, this is an animal. This is just, like, a beast acting on instinct and at times self-preservation that knows how screwed it is and is genuinely scared. And I found that really interesting. Also, just the strategy to take out Godzilla in this movie was, number one, so we're going to shoot it with cadmium. And from my understanding, cadmium is an element that can absorb radiation. So in the original film, it's the oxygen destroyer. Here, it's almost like the nuclear destroyer. So they just shoot him in the mouth with it. And it works, because eventually he just gets knocked out. But then a Russian missile that was not supposed to go off, but accidentally does, because the guy who was gonna turn it off died, ends up firing. The United States missile blows it up. Shout out to the Kadena Air Force Base, because, oh boy, I was hyped when I saw that, because I've spent a lot of time in Okinawa, and I was like, ooh, I know that place, let's go! Okinawa coming in clutch! King Caesar! I'm still mad that King Caesar was lame, dude. I wanted him to be so cool. But, like, it ends up, like, they take care of the missile, but then there's lightning flashing, and then Goji gets struck by lightning, and he gets back. I'm like, didn't this happen in one of the Mechagodzilla movies? Oh, it's great. And then, yeah, he goes back and, like, starts to destroy shit again. What else do I really want to say about this movie? Sorry, I just want to, like, oh yeah, there's a scene where he's underwater, and he, like, blows up a Russian sub because he wants to eat the nuclear energy. That was really cool. I do think the score was good. Let me rephrase that. The score is really good, but I miss hearing the Godzilla theme. It was not in this movie. I don't know if that's going to be a thing where it's just not in the Heisei films, or it just wasn't in this one for some reason. But I kept waiting for the... I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Come on, come on, come on. What do you mean it's not here. Like, I was so sad. Oh, right, there's one scene where, like, Godzilla's walking in the ocean, and essentially what's going on is he, like, kind of diving underwater and starts swimming, but the way it looks is that he trips and just, like, falls face first. That one got me. I thought that was really funny. Oh, right, there's a scene when it's some pretty early destruction, where I think it's before he's in Shinjuku, and he just, like, fires his atomic breath, and he, like, hits some people directly with it. You see them, like, glow. It reminded me of the meat fireworks scene from Gundam Seed, where, like, it was fucked, but it was really, really cool. Struck by the building. The atomic breath through the building was so cool. I loved it. Oh yeah, the scene where the homeless dude is, like, running in slow-mo with, like, a green screen Godzilla behind him. That was just a funny shot. That one got me. Yeah, okay, I think that's all the stuff I wanted to talk about in this movie, like all the scenes that stuck out to me and whatnot. Overall, it's the best film of the Heisei era so far, which is saying nothing. But how do I want to say this? I enjoyed it. I liked it fine. It's not great, but I think it has a really good start. When Goji is on screen, it's great, which generally goes without saying. Most Godzilla movies are like that. I feel like in the middle, and there's the non-Godzilla parts of the climax, like the whole helicopter scene, feel like they go on a bit too much. Like, I think I had said earlier, like, this movie reminds me of Shin Godzilla. It feels like a worse Shin Godzilla, which, it's a worse version of one of the best movies in the series. That's still good, but I feel like, to me, the political stuff is less interesting as it is in Shin. And as much as I like Godzilla in this movie, he's not as cool as he is in Shin Godzilla. That is one of my favorite depictions of Goji. But overall, I liked it. I liked it fine. I think Biollante is next, and I don't know what people think of this movie, but I think Biollante is supposed to be a pretty popular monster, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. It means I'm one movie closer to Destroya. I am so excited for it. I think of all the movies in this marathon, aside from -1, Destroya was the one I was the most excited for, and I really hope it lives up to that. But, that's it. That's my 4th of July video. Go, Godzilla.